Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. Today it's a Legacy Day, and I have a donation deck from Joel. And what Joel has brought me is a Legacy Classic Dreadnought, StifleNought. The way this works, if you're unfamiliar, this hasn't been a playable deck in a long time, so if you're new, this might be news to you, but Phyrexian Dreadnought is a 1-mana 12/12 trample. When it enters the battlefield, you're supposed to sacrifice other creatures you control with total power 12 or greater, but you can stifle that and just have a 12/12 for 2 mana. Not bad. The rest of the deck is trying to cheat Phyrexian Dreadnought into play in a similar fashion. Scroll of Fate, manifest a card from your hand. A manifest is a face down 2/2 creature, and you can turn it face up at any time for its mana cost if it's a creature. So you can pay 1 to turn this Phyrexian Dreadnought face up. And because it's already in play, its enters the battlefield trigger doesn't trigger. It just is in play, but now it's a different thing. You can also do the same tricks with Uro. You can stifle Uro's sacrifice trigger, then you just have a 6/6. You can Scroll of Fate Uro, then turn it face up for 3 and be attacking with your Uro. And the most exciting new technology here, Lazav, the Multifarious. So blue-black, 1/3 legendary creature, shapeshifter. When Lazav, the Multifarious, enters the battlefield, surveil 1. So that's look at your top card of your library and you can put it in the graveyard. Then you can pay X, and Lazav becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with converted mana cost X, except its name is Lazav, it's legendary, and it has this ability. So, you can play a Lazav on turn 2, surveil a Dreadnought or Uro into your graveyard, and then pay 1 or 3 mana on the following turn and attack with a Dreadnought or Uro. Worth noting that it stays legendary, so this will always get hit by Karakas, but it can also morph into different creatures throughout the game, so that's pretty sweet. And trusty old Tarmogoyf. The original list Joel sent me had Dark Confidant in this spot, but he was tweaking it in the time between he contacted me and when I recorded this and determined that Tarmogoyf just being a beater is better because the rest of these are beaters. Beater, beater. You don't need a random card draw engine. You need to continue beating. Like, tax your opponent's answers, make them play out your game, and then the last fatty will win. And the rest of the deck, just trying to make it all work together. The cantrips, obviously, it's a legacy deck, so you want to find your best spells. Stifle, it pays off your combo. Stifle's also just pretty good in general. You can stifle your opponent's fetch land, pair that with Wasteland and Daze, and it becomes really hard to cast spells. Thoughtseize, Force Will, Flusterstorm, protect your combo, protect your creatures, and Abrupt Decay for whatever else you. So this looks like a legacy deck to me. The sideboard has some pretty normal choices like Veil of Summer, Plague Engineer, Surgical Extraction, Force Negation. Divert's an exciting one. The reason Phyrexian Dreadnought decks died, they went from just like a top like tier 1, tier 2 option to unplayable, was the printing of Abrupt Decay. Can't be countered. Doesn't matter how many Force Wills are in your hand or Flusterstorms. Abrupt Decay will kill Phyrexian Dreadnought. But Divert can send Abrupt Decay somewhere else. Veil of Summer counters Abrupt Decay with rules-based actions instead of with actual countering it. So there's a couple answers to Abrupt Decay in the sideboard. And we have this sweet little crop rotation package to board into. If your opponent's doing some like Reanimator or Depths kind of stuff, you can crop rotate for Karakas. If they're a graveyard deck, you have Bajuka Bog. Crop rotation basically gives you a second copy of each of these lands and lets you deploy them in instant speed. So that's a tight little package. We saw some of that technology in Delver decks a couple years ago, where they would just play these lands with 1 crop rotation to cantrip 4, double your access, and that's pretty sweet. Joel has put up a 5-0 with this deck, so let's see if I can replicate his results. I'm on the draw in round 1, and look at this hand. Wow, this is obviously a mulligan, but I don't think that I've ever seen 4 Wastelands in an opening hand before. Great poker hand, but we're going to ship this. Alright, this is a keeper. I'm going to send one of the Stifles. I don't think I'm going to want two of that, especially compared to the card quality elsewhere. Oh, Lotus Petal deck. Glad I didn't keep that 4 Wasteland hand. Uh-oh. So this is looking like oops all spells. If they have the Pact of Negation, I lose. Okay, cool. If I went first, I would have Stifle, which can actually win this game, but I did not. So, just dumpstered on turn 1. Turn 0 for me. I just want to look at their deck, but I definitely lose here. So there's Narcomoebas, Thassa's Oracle, all the things you'd expect. Cabal Therapies. So, yep, I'm dead. Is there a bridge from below? There's usually one. Yeah, okay. One bridge from below. Okay, you got me. Literally play draw here. I win that game on the play because I get to stifle their Thassa's Oracle trigger. Or no, I would stifle the Undercity Informer. If I wait for Thassa's Oracle, it's too late because they get to therapy me. Okay, so Bajuka Bog, Crop Rotation, Surgical Extraction. Force of Negation isn't great because their actual payoffs are creatures, but I mean, I'm gonna bring it in. There might be somewhere along the chain where I can disrupt them, or this can counter their Pact of Negation on the force on their creature. So, okay, Abrupt Decay doesn't do much here. I mean, this is gonna be like a win or lose kind of match, so I think I can just take out anything that isn't instantly relevant. Tarmogoyf is a meaningful clock. Thoughtseize is great. Stifle's great. Lazav is at least blue for all these forces I'm bringing in. I actually think Dreadnought is looking pretty bad because it just doesn't matter. Divert. So I can divert a Pact of Negation. I could divert a Cabal Therapy too. Yeah, I mean, I guess Divert should probably be in the deck. And I'm going to shave another Dreadnought because that just doesn't matter. Plague Engineer doesn't help. I was thinking maybe I can name Illusion. I think that's what Narcomoeba is. And then their Narcomoebas would die, but that's why they play one bridge from below. So they'll just turn into zombies and they can still combo. Is Veil of Summer something I want? That can stop their counter spells and their discard spells. So all their removal is Veil of Summer. Gets hit by Veil of Summer. Maybe I'm just off Dreadnought entirely. And just let Tarmogoyf and Uro win this game. Okay, I'll try that. Like, the Stifles are so good against their deck that I think that I'd rather just stop them than do my own thing. This is a hand of magic cards. I'm going to keep this for sure. Every card in this hand interacts meaningfully with their deck. Alright, so they're just going to discard, it looks like. That's allowed. Dropping a Dread Return. So I can ponder here, but if I miss a land, it denies me some significant interaction, but I think it's worth doing. I'm going to ponder, not brainstorm, because my hand is perfect. Alright, that's a shuffle. Oh, sweet relief. Alright. Really wanted to find that land. The difference between 1 and 0 mana is enormous with Flusterstorm in the mix here. Looks like it's go time. I would honestly be fucking blown away, like so impressed if they win this game through the sand. They're playing around Mindbreak Trap right now, so they're just running out these Lotus Petals past the turn. And they'll probably try to like... Okay, never mind, they're off it. So I can Force a Will this jerk. I guess I have to. I boarded out all my removal. So I'm going to pitch Daze. Alright, found another Daze. I'm just going to pass the turn with this. I can Brainstorm in their end step if they don't do anything, or for an answer if I need one. My hand is already good. Like, what would I Brainstorm for? I'd be looking for basically a threat. Oh, that's a threat. Okay. So I'm going to pass the turn again, and I'll Brainstorm in the end step now, because now I'm looking for a land to stick Lazav. They're playing this super tight. I kind of like it. Ooh, alright, well, Uro can go, and I think I want the Stifle. Yeah, I'm going to draw the Stifle, and then just pass. I'll shuffle away the Uro, but just having 6 cards in my hand that they can't combo through is worth a lot to me. Alright, so are they gonna go beat down here? Just attack me for 17. I actually am not sure if they can win if I extract their Dread Return. Like, they might just concede to that. Let's give it a shot. Let's take a look. Can you beat this? Wish I thought of that 3 turns ago. Okay, so super loose hand here. Alright, can they win without Dread Return? Agadeem's Awakening. I guess they could technically like cast that to put some number of creatures into play. They can cast... Alright, yeah. It looks like they can just like cast some 2/3s and 2/2s and try to beat down. The Tarmogoyf will make quick work of that. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick a Goyf. And get to work. I guess they could still technically draw the Thassa's Oracle and cast it somehow after milling themselves. But I don't think that's likely to occur. I need to tap that one for black. Aha! He's so multifarious. Do you know how many fairies he has? Multiple. If they didn't know it was a Dreadnought deck, they do now. Yeah, I'll take a Ponder. Sure. I think this is only my graveyard. Card in your graveyard. Yep, I can't become a Xantid Swarm, unfortunately. So I have 2 forces and days if they make a move this turn, and if they don't, I just have them on a 2-turn clock with all of this hate available. Okay, let's ponder. I would like to find a land here. Yeah, land's more important than Thoughtseize right now. Oh, they discarded Bridge from Below. I didn't even see that. Very sneaky. So now when they chump with Wild Cantor, they'll get a creature. I guess they can still like mill themselves to put a bunch of blockers into play, but that doesn't actually do anything. Or they could target me with Balustrade Spy, and just like mill me for a bunch. Undercity Informer. I think it's probably right to just force this. Like, if they have Pact of Negation, yeah, whatever, weird game. I did not feel in danger at any point in that game. It was just a matter of like making sure the coast was clear, to be able to turn the corner and go off. And by go off, I mean cast Tarmogoyf. So I need to put a little bit of respect on Xantid Swarm. And on the draw, Veil isn't great, though. So Plague Engineer on Insect versus Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay is cheaper, and that's the only tiebreaker that matters, because this matchup's going to happen fast. I can probably cut a Wasteland. They don't have a whole lot of targets for that. And it doesn't really help me cast a lot of my spells. Like Tarmogoyf and Uro, the front half of Uro are the only cards that Wasteland actually taps for mana for. So with that in mind, do I want to cut a second Wasteland for it to get my Veil back? I think that's fair. I can also stifle Xantid Swarm triggers to buy a little bit of time. I'm actually going to go back to... How much respect can I put on this card? I don't think so. Alright. There it is. This is the deck. I'm hitting submit. Xantid Swarm is the only card I'm really, really worried about in their whole deck. Ooh, they submitted a 61 card deck in their linear combo strategy. I have to imagine that was a misclick. I have on this channel submitted 67 card decks after sideboard by accident, so I'm certainly not making fun of them. These things happen. They're thinking hard at... Oh no, they are... They haven't even decided who's going first yet. This is a mulligan. And no free interaction. Can't even cast the Thoughtseize if I get to my turn. Ship it. Oh no. Opponent's also on 6. I can't defend keeping hands like this. Okay, I'll keep this one. I don't need 2 Uros. I probably don't need any Uros. Alright, I have a point of interaction on turn 0, a point of interaction on turn 1, and a cantrip. So, let's hope for the best. Cabal Therapy, Naming Force of Will. So they're going to know about Surgical. But knowing about it doesn't really matter. Oh my god, they're geniuses. They named Surgical. Okay. Well played. So maybe they can just beat Force of Will, but they can't beat Surgical. That was really well played. You can generally tell the strength of a Legacy player on how good their Cabal Therapies hit. And my opponent hit well. They know about the days, and I'm about to ponder. So, and I had the draw step, so there are a couple mysteries here. Their deck is certainly capable of playing around days. Oh, please give me another turn. If they have to play around days for a turn, then crop rotation becomes insane. Oh no. And I'm going to go after this. If they have a Pact of Negation or a Spirit Guide to pay for this, It is what it is. 3. Do you have one more mana? Is it Lotus Petal? Please don't have Lotus Petal. Please pass the turn. All right. So they're going to have to pass the turn. Oh, wow. Daze was a perfect draw. I'm going to fetch for a Trop right now. Oh, wait. That wasn't the perfect draw because I'm going to have to sack my... I just have to hope they don't have... Pact of Negation. Alright, I don't have Stifle. Okay, all 4 Pact of Negations are in their graveyard. I think we're good. Alright, crop rotation. Do it for me. Oh, they conceded! Alright, we managed to navigate the Oops All Spells matchup, which is basically just don't die and then you win. So we haven't actually seen this deck do anything yet except play Legacy Blue cards. So next round. And I'm on the play in round 2 here with kind of a weird hand. If they ram into Stifle, this hand's great, but I don't have a second land or a way to get one. I'll keep. For science. I think this is an easy mulligan on the draw, but I'm going to do my best on the play. If it turns out they're also a Stifle deck, we're going to end up in a super weird spot. Really, if I just hit my next 2 land drops, I'll be very happy, and I'll be very sad if I don't. Alright, play a fetch land, and fetch it immediately. Are we playing against Oops All Spells again? Stop! Alright, well, at least my hand is good against this. I have 2 Stifles, which is a card that is difficult for them to beat. Why do people play this deck? It's strange to me. Or maybe this is like Death Shadow somehow. I don't know. Alright, second land would be great. Oh, that might be even better. If they are Oops, that might be better. Qual Therapy. Alright, so this just names Stifle, but they don't know about the Force. But now they do. They tried so hard. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, welcome to playing a blue deck versus Oops All Spells. Okay, so they have perfect information. I think I should cast Tarmogoyf. Like, if they don't play Daze, if they can beat Force of Will, they can beat Force of Will, and leaving up mana doesn't change that. So I want to get a clock in. And Lazav is my blue card, so that's why I played Goyf instead of Lazav, of course. Do they have a third discard spell? Yeah, if they were going for the combo, they would have just shocked here, so they clearly don't have it. That's a good card. I'm going to play it pre-combat because there's a good chance it's going to buff my Tarmogoyf. Balustrade Spy. Yes, I'll take that, thank you. And that makes Tarmogoyf bigger. They have a bunch of mana in their hand. They can start casting Spirit Guides. They don't really care about that. I can decay them. Oh, they're still trying to combo. I don't blame them. And obviously that's preferable to just running out shitty creatures. I don't think any of this is important. Like, another Thoughtseize would have been great there, a Stifle. Like, just, I don't need another Tarmogoyf. They're gonna die pretty quick anyway. Finding another blue card mean I can Lazav next turn. Alright, 2 mystery cards in their hand. They have to be the Spy and the Protection. Okay, so they can therapy me with this Spirit Guide, and that would clear the force. So that's a little dangerous, but I'm not gonna force that because that's the same result. So they name Force of Will here, and I actually do need a top deck. Assuming they drew one of their 7 outers. Yeah, so they have 3 more Spies plus the Undercity Informer. They have 3 life to work with. Alright, let's just draw Force of Will. Daze is not bad either. Oh, I probably should have Lazaved before combat, in case I surveil a card type that doesn't exist yet. Like, if I surveilled a Dreadnought, put that one in the graveyard. So they don't know about Daze, but with Dark Ritual and Spirit Guide, they can probably beat Daze if they have the payoff. Well, they're doing something. Jesus. Okay, yep. They had 2 draw steps with no manipulation to find a 7-outer, and they did. A 7-outer, they already had the protection, so can't complain about that. Alright, so Narcomoeba, Thassa's Oracle, Cabal Therapy, Bridge from Below. Yeah, it's all there. Yep, alright, good job. Okay, now we sideboard all those things in again. Alright, so the forces, diverts, surgicals. I wish this was more interesting for the video, but I mean, I'll take good matchups all the same. The Veils. I think I ended up with 1 Veil last time, so left in 2 Abrupt Decay. I cut all my Dreadnoughts. What else did I do last time? I shaved on Uro. And Daze, Tarmogoyf. Those cards are all good. Scroll of Fate, yeah, that was an easy one. And did I go to 2 Uros last time? Oh no, I was cutting Wastelands last time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I think I ended up cutting 2 Wastelands last time because they just don't matter. And I had both Veils in. Okay, yeah, that works. Alright, looks familiar. I would like to play first. Bayou, Betrayed. This hand is great if this is a blue source. Alright, I'll take this. Keep, ship the Wasteland. Yeah, definitely Wasteland. And Thoughtseize. If I can, like, Thoughtseize Surgical something important, they might just be dead. Oh my god, I could rip all of these out of their hand, but I don't think that's important. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the Informer. Or do I take the Pact? That's kind of interesting. I could take Pact and just let them go for it, and they lose if they do. No, I'll play normal. Oh, great. Magic Online shows you both halves of split cards. One card's revealed from the hand. So my opponent, despite getting Thoughtseize, went to a 10-card hand. And because they have the 4 spies and the 4 informers, I don't want to just crack off a surgical on informer here. Alright, so now I'm going to have Daze available. That Wasteland actually would have been pretty good because my opponent here has only 1 black source. So I can brainstorm now, looking for more activity. Or I could, if they tap out, I can Daze the Pact. Alright, so do I Daze this or do I have perfect information right now? No, there's 1 card I don't know about. Alright, so that's the Symbiosis. Alright, so I'm going to cast Daze on this, and hopefully they pack the Daze, and then I can Surgical. Oh no, they had... Are you fucking kidding me? They drew... The 2 cards they drew, since I Thoughtseize them, were the replacement combo piece and the play around Daze. What a complete fucking maniac. Wow, okay. That's a reason to play Oops All Spells. If you draw like this, I would play this deck too. If I was guaranteed to just Demonic Tutor every turn. Yeah, okay. I'm dead. Am I dead? Yeah. Thassa's Oracle, Pact of Negation in hand. Yep, okay. I mean, maybe I'm supposed to take Pact with the Thoughtseize and just let them try to kill themselves. Wow. Alright, good games. Split the difference against Oops All Spells, 1 opponent who drew normally, 1 who did not. And on to the next round. So all God draws aside, that last round, I could have brainstormed before I Daze, and then bounced the land with Daze, and that would have given me more options to keep playing. Like, tapping out for the Daze didn't play around Spirit Guide, when, like, you can argue it is not super likely mathematically that they have it, but you can also say, like, what if they do just play right? So I failed to do that, so that happened. All right, so my opponent is on the play. I'm going to keep this hand. It has trouble casting its spells, but being on the draw, I'm willing to run it. And it has Stifle, Flusterstorm, so like I can play on 1 land for a little while. So I have, what, 3 draw steps before I need to hit a land? Alright, I'm gonna leave this in play and just ponder next turn. I don't need to hit my land drop right now, because I already played my land for the turn, and I do have multiple 1-mana spells to cast. Fetch, 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 fetch. Please don't stifle me. Alright, they are not a stifle deck, it seems. But guess who is? Oh, they had to force that. Force pitching Quaddle. I'll take it. Get a non-basic. So this could be show and tell. Oh god. Well, now I need to draw a green source immediately. They were definitely right to force that. Alright, green source off the top. Fuck. Alright, there's Tropical Island. I think I want to put the force in my hand right now, though. Because I can still make this land drop. That drop doesn't help a whole lot. And now we're in a Sylvan Library versus Uro game. But I can decay it. It just sucks that they get to pop off this one. Let's hope that they're careful with their life total. If they just YOLO go to 10 right now, then that's going to be pretty good for them. All right, they got one extra card out of it. So it replaced itself, which isn't that bad, all things considered. Yeah, I'm just going to decay this thing immediately. Guess I technically could have waited till their upkeep, because it happens in their draw step. Would have hidden a little bit of information. Alright, looks like it didn't matter. Alright, so we've got a Bant deck with lots of basics. This could be Bant Miracles. There's a good chance of that. So Swords to Plowshares is going to be something we have to work through. Terminus is something we have to respect. Though Stifle's really good against Terminus. They did not shuffle their library off that Ponder. Let's just spew Uros onto the board. Oh, yikes. Well, I'm going to force that, and I'm going to pitch Lazav to do it. Please don't have another force. Okay. Jeez. Pitching Lazav is funny, because now they're like, what the fuck is happening over there? Yeah, having that force was good there. Hull Breacher, not interested in playing against that card. They probably have Days Undoing in their deck as well. A lot of these Bant control decks have like 1 or 2 copies of that, just as a way to hammer the door closed. Alright, so I have Abrupt Decay ready for Teferi. Hopefully they'll plus, planning to bounce Uro in the future. Alright, yeah, they're just getting their card out of it right now. There's like a lot of levels to playing Teferi that I think are pretty interesting. Though I imagine people who don't play Teferi would disagree. They're just like, that card is stupid. And that's a reasonable take. So I have Wasteland for Caracas. If I draw a blue or green source, I can bring back Uro this turn. That's neither of those things. I could Uro again. Yeah, I don't really care that Teferi's in play right now. I actually do kind of want to just waste them here. Because even if Uro's not in play right away, Wasteland is still just good against decks like this. Alright, so there's Uro mana for next turn. Teferi's super awkward with Phyrexian Dreadnought because not only does it bounce it pain-free if I do all the work to get it into play, but I actually can't do the work to get it into play because I can't stifle my own trigger with Teferi in play. And so I can Abrupt Decay Teferi and do a little bit of work to... Yeah, I actually want to do this. So... Black, green, just clear Teferi out. Because if I'm able to Uro with Flusterstorm help next turn, that's a lot more interesting than just trying to power through Teferi. Alright, so Flusterstorm won't help, but Force of Will might. I could also just develop a little more. No, I actually want to... I'll save that Tarmogoyf as the second wave. This Dreadnought's looking really bad in my hand, though. Hull Breacher, shit. I don't want to play through that card. Like, I don't know that I can. So, especially the top card of my deck is Brainstorm. So if Uro gets plowed, it gets plowed, whatever. Alright, now we're both doing this. The difference is that my lands cast Uro and theirs don't. But they did not play a land drop from their hand or a land off Uro, so I know that they have 4 spells in their hand. Blue, blue, green, green. Tarmogoyf is on top of the deck, so I should think about the card types in the graveyard. Just eat all my instants, I guess. Alright, so if they plow Uro, that's still a 2-for-1. Yeah, I don't care about that so much. I have another one. Their Uro's kind of scary, though. Six, 7 Tarmogoyf. Fuck, they drew Forest. Oh, but they're not going for it. Interesting. They probably have Force of Will in their hand. That would be my guess. Or they have Hull Breacher. Yeah, I'll just cast Tarmogoyf. I'm not going to ponder into a Hull Breacher. I guess it wouldn't be that bad, because if I ponder, then they Hull Breach, I can Brainstorm in response, and at least I get to Brainstorm. Shark Typhoon. Alright, 3/3 Shark. That's also an enchantment for Tarmogoyf. Was there already one? Oh yeah, Sylvan Library. Nope. Tarmogoyf is the same size. I take it back. And they have all the enchantments, so their Uro can control Tarmogoyf's size. They also have the only Planeswalker, so yeah, if they bring back Uro, they can do some work. I would definitely rather be on their side of this matchup, just on paper, just looking at the deck list. These Miracle decks are very good at doing exactly what they're doing right now. Alright, gain Mountains of Life on that. I am at 38. And they can't Hull Breacher right now, so I like that. Stifle. Escape is not a... Oh, I do have the Dreadnought here, though. Oh, Lazav, hello. So, actually, top. Do not shuffle that library. Cast Lazav. Surveil Phyrexian Dreadnought into the graveyard. And I got a 12/12 at my leisure. I can't imagine they would Force of Will this. I think they're just busy reading it. The combo. Bang, 12/12. So they're going to have to respect the shit out of this. Their Caracas is already dead. 3 cards in hand. And Lazav is a 1/3 just on base stats, so they can't even attack with Snapcaster Mage and try to bait an activation. They are not interested in their Uro at all. So if I go for it here, then I have more mana on my turn. I'm drawing a land anyway, so maybe I just want Uro more than I want Dreadnought anyway. Yeah, that might be true. Let's attack with Uro. Oh, it's getting in there. So I can attack, trigger Uro, and then also turn it into Dreadnought if they don't block. Or if they do. Wow. Take 11. That was fucked up. Alright, sign me up. I'm in for this now. I'm officially sold. Alright, Supreme Verdict, bummer. Lazav, you were too good for this world. They didn't even want to attack for 3. They were so scared. Oh, Thoughtseize. That's a good Thoughtseize to find. So I'll Wasteland this land now. Thoughtseize first, and then Uro. Blue, blue, green, green. Yeah, I have more blue sources to fetch, so I can tap one of my green sources here. Force and Days Undoing. I don't want them to have Days Undoing. I don't actually... Or, do I care about Force of Will? Because they're going to bring back their Uro. I don't really want them to be able to protect it. But yeah, Days Undoing is a card that can like actually win this game somehow. So blue, blue, green, green. I could Dreadnought here, but I just think that this is better. That Lazav was insane. Alright, so now I'm holding up Stifle for something like Terminus. But they do have the hardcast force on top of that. So, but at least that denies them the... Like, they can't Terminus and Uro this turn. Did they just forget Uros in their graveyard? What is happening? I'm just gonna attack. I don't even think I need to Thoughtseize. Like, react to me. Shark Typhoon. Make a shark. Or not. Nah, Okay. All right. I'm officially in. Lazav is a legacy Magic card, now and forever. All right. So I think I want my Abrupt Decays. They showed me Sylvan Library that game. They showed me Uro. They showed me Shark Typhoon, Hull Breacher. Yeah, those are all cards that I want to Abrupt Decay. Thoughtseize is very good. I don't think I want all 4 Dreadnoughts in the deck, unfortunately. As sick as that was, this Swords to Plowshares, Counterspell, etc. deck kind of scary when you're trying to resolve a 2-card combo that fails to a creature or a creature removal or Counterspell or Teferi or anything. So they did show me Snapcaster. They showed me Uro as well. So maybe I want like 1 Surgical in. I don't think Days is going to be particularly helpful. They have a lot of basics. Veil of Summer has lots of text. Is 1 Days clown shit, or is that to keep them honest? Like, I could just cut this last Days for another Surgical or Bajuka Bog. Because even just like a random bogging controls future Snapcasters and future Uros. Divert's not going to be great. Is the second Veil better than the first Bog? How do I win a game where I don't... Like, what if they have Rest in Peace, I guess, is a question. How do I win that game? Not well. It's basically Scroll of Fate or bust. Alright, I'm gonna do this. As these decks, they Uro, they Snapcaster, they Mystic Sanctuary. This is a keep. Gotta watch out for Back to Basics. I assume that's a card they play, based on everything we've seen so far. They're playing around Stifle. Good idea. I recommend it. So I could Thoughtseize them on turn 1, or I could Ponder on turn 1 and try to set up a mid-game where I Thoughtseize to clear the way. Right, finding the land helps me want to Thoughtseize now. Like something like Sylvan Library I would like to just get out of the way. Days Undoing, Brainstorm. Ooh, interesting. I could Surgical their Ponder and get 2 cards out of their hand right now. That also shuffles their deck, which they may or may not actually want to do. All right, I'm going to strip their Brainstorm. And I think, yeah, I'm just going to hit their Ponders now. So now they don't have white mana, they don't have cantrips. Let's get a look at this deck. We got Veil of Summers, 1 Sylvan Library, 2 Teferi, bunch of Plows, Carpet of Flowers, Court of Grace, Respect, 2 Coatls, Narset, 3 Hullbreachers, and is it just the 1 Days Undoing? 2 Back to Basics confirmed, Ashiok. Yeah, just the 1 Days Undoing. Alright, yeah, that's about what I expected. And Jace. And there are 2 Rest in Peace, okay. Good to know. 2 Shark Typhoon. Okay. So the reason I cracked off that aggro Ponder, or that aggro Surgical like that, is because when you Ponder on turn 1, especially against a deck you've seen discard spells from, you generally hide your best card on top. So normally it's better to let your opponent get to their draw step in case they draw another Ponder, you get 2 cards out of their hand. But in this case, I think it is way better to do it that way. Because by then it's too late to take the card from their hand. All right, Tropical Island. Let's get Lazav in play. Like, they have Ice Fang Coatl, but whatever. Not going to fight over that. I'm not going to stifle it. Do I want to mill this land? Yes. Yeah, that feels for future Uro. I'm already set up with mana here. As long as they don't have Back to Basics right now, which would have had to involve drawing land and Back to Basics. Okay, Ashiok isn't great, but it's not as bad as Back to Basics. 1 Abrupt Decay is gone, and some fetch lands. Alright, whatever. Wasteland, not helpful. So against Ashiok, Ponder's probably a lot better than Brainstorm. Alright, Scroll of Fate is a nice one. Underground Sea, does that matter? I probably want to sit on my Bog for as long as I can. Alright, so I'll draw this. I'll attack. Yeah, I think that trading off with Coatl is fine. Yeah, deal. Because they're eventually going to have white mana to remove that anyway with their plow. I can brainstorm to save my Scroll of Fate if they minus Ashiok, but I think minusing Ashiok's kind of crazy here. Just let it sit in play and be a Blood Sun. Alright, they don't agree. Oh god, if they drew exactly Hull Breacher, I could get destroyed here. Alright, I'll just stifle that. Because Scroll of Fate's going to be a huge deal. And I played around Hull Breacher because I can. So I think brainstorming there, if it resolved, would have been way better, because then I get to... They mill the cards I don't want. It's like a shuffle with brainstorm. Right, so 2 cards. Force of Will does work. Force of Negation does work. I'm just going to go for my scroll here. Start making 2/2s. Nice. Yeah, I'm not going to play Bog. Guard it. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. I'll probably make Bog into a 2/2. Start attacking Ashiok. Now I hope they do minus Ashiok. Just put it into combat range. I hope they don't have Hull Breacher though, because then they breach untap Days Undoing. GG. Alright, good. Alright, yeah, they're in the business of just aggro Ashioking me. Got rid of some forces and random shit. Whatever. Library, okay. So I'll manifest my Vajuka Bog. They will probably Swords to Plowshare it. Oh, they're just letting me get to combat. Alright. Attack Ashiok. Good thing it's a 2 because they activated it so many times. Oh, they are torn. Alright. Shell game. It was Bajuka Bog. This Abrupt Decay for Sylvan Library is timely. So Days Undoing still sitting in hand. In trouble to a Hull Breacher at any point. A Scroll of Fate turns even like dead fetch lands into real cards. Smashing my graveyard again. Alright, an Uro's gone, my Caracas is gone. Okie dokie. I kinda want all my cantrips, but I also kinda want to kill Ashiok, so I'm gonna commit to. And because I can't shuffle my deck, I want to keep Ponder over Brainstorm. That's a nice one. Alright, and Ashiok is gone just in time to cast Uro. Oh, if they have Hull Breacher, I lose anyway. Okay, sure. Alright, so they're gonna have... I guess I should have manifested Uro. That was bad. Yeah, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, so I'm gonna have to beat a 7-card hand with 7 fresh mana. Yeah, I just needed them to not draw Hull Breacher, basically, and they did. Yeah, if I manifest Uro, then I have a 6/6 coming in next turn. Maybe I'll just draw a Dreadnought now and have a 12/12 in the under the shell. This is a weird during my upkeep brainstorm. I guess they played around Flusterstorm pretty well. Though it doesn't matter because they have infinite treasures. Alright, so I'm basically just trying to overload them with Manifest 2/2s. Alright, cool. Hull Breacher's dead. That's a relief. They probably have another one. Yeah, I didn't even think about manifesting Uro. That would have been a lot better. Well, we're back. Alright, this 2/2 better win the game by itself. Maybe they'll vote for it. They did not vote for it. I'm shocked. Alright, so now I've seen a full picture of their deck. They're not really miracles. They're Bant mid-range with some other stuff going on. Alright, I'll concede to Jace. Alright, so no Terminus. There was a Supreme Verdict. Maybe I want Dreadnought, more Dreadnoughts. At least for a Lazav and Scroll of Fate. It's just such a payoff. I have every answer I play to Hull Breacher in the deck. Bojuka Bog makes sense. Yeah, I think it was fine. I like one surgical. They had Rest in Peace, so maybe I need to get a little slimmer on things that rely on my graveyard. Though I do have Abrupt Decay, so yeah, there's some counterplay there that isn't too devastating. Ashiok to Rest in Peace to back to basics. That's a lot of work for my Abrupt Decays to handle. Force of Will seems like it's going to be important in this matchup. Wasteland doesn't seem super important, and I boarded in Caracas and Bojuka Bog, so I still have a lot of lands. Okay. I'm doing this. Like, it's possible I'm supposed to just go full Delver mode and bring in the Dazes on the play and just try to slam, but I don't think that's right. Like, I just don't think that with the Icefang Quaddles and Plows and everything my opponent has, that's going to get over the finish line. So I think pivoting into the more mid-range version makes sense. This is a turn 1 Ponder for sure. I'm going to get Underground Sea to cast Lazav with next turn. Tropical Island, Abrupt Decay, Uro. Yeah, that's phenomenal. So I draw the Trop now. I draw the Abrupt Decay for my turn. Lazav mills Uro. Then I can be attacking with Uro on turn 3. Because I play Wasteland Activate in with Uro. And I can force back up all of that. Blue-black. Surveil 1. In it. Alright. We've done it. I'm ready to Force of Will a turn 2 Rest in Peace here. Though hopefully they just won't have anything. Alright, don't get me back. Okay, Uro's gonna attack, unless they also have Surgical. It's extremely tempting to just wasteland them here, but I think getting Lazav into copy mode is better. All right, let's crush. Oh, I did this wrong. I should have played this, and then the Uro puts the wasteland in, and I get to waste them. I fucked that up. Ugh. But now they have to deal with this Uro, and I have another one in the graveyard. Yeah, that sucks. It's going to be a huge deal. Like, having white mana versus not having white mana here is the difference between Rest in Peace, Swords to Plowshares. There's so much going on. Yeah. The only reason that would ever go bad is if they had exactly Surgical, but they think they would have Surgicaled already if they did. Chose to shuffle. Good. All right, I drew Force. That was lucky. I needed it. So they have a non-death touch Coatl. That's fine. Let's see if they want to absorb 6 damage right away, or if they want to try to give it death touch next turn. Alright, absorbing. They wouldn't have been able to do that at all if I just wasted directly. Carpet. I'm gonna let that resolve and destroy it before their next main phase. So in combat, I'll decay it. Them being stuck under this mana denial is basically the only thing keeping this game in my favor. They have 6 spells locked in their hand over there. I don't want them to ever cast them. Save the Force of Will for a plow. I think I bring back the other Uro here, because this is still named Lazav. This is a delight. I even have surgical extraction now. I can... What does that even do? Alright, so I have double force now. Oh, this is crazy. I'm having so much fun with Lazav. I hope they let me get to my combat step so I have this insane screenshot of 2 Uros attacking together. No, they denied me my joy. But I did still have 2 Uros in play. Count it. So I just got a message on Discord from our previous opponent, and it is none other than Spunky, the person whose Bant Hull Breacher deck I recorded for the channel earlier this week. So no wonder that list looked familiar. I literally helped build the deck. All right, so here we are on the draw for round 4. I am going to keep this hand. It looks fine. They asked if I'm streaming. I am recording, so kinda. Good luck to you too, opponent. Alright, Prismatic Vista. I'm just going to ponder in the face of Prismatic Vista. I know this Wasteland's not going to have a target right away. So backup Force, backup Ponder, and Uro. Alright, I'm going to put the Ponder in my hand, leave the Force on top. Honestly, in the face of Prismatic Vista, I probably didn't even want the second Force, so I maybe should have done that differently and planned to shuffle it away. I stacked it the way I did to play around Cabal Therapy if they're a combo deck. Oh, they might still be a combo deck. What the fuck is this? I don't know what they're doing, but I do know that when you see Ancient Tomb, you waste it. Oh, do they have Hull Breacher? Why? That's not free, so they're floating mana. Let's see what it is. It's gotta be Hull Breacher, right? I really wish I had Stifle there. Yeah, so Force, pitching, Ponder. If they force back, alright. Force, pitching, Ponder. We are both all in. Okay, so stacking that like they're a combo deck ended up paying off because they are. So this is going to be Uro. And then we'll see what happens next. I hope they miss their land drop, because I don't want to have to think about Hull Breacher with my Uro. I guess I just jam regardless. Oh, that makes it easier. Tarmogoyf. Yeah, Tarmogoyf presents a clock. Force pitching Mist Hollow Griffin. Wow! I'm so jealous. So if they draw a land, they can cast Mist Hollow Griffin from exile here. That's just like the full free Force of Will. Alright, well, don't breach me. Whatever they have, it came off the top. This could be Hull Breacher. I slow rolled the Wasteland because I wanted them to fetch without knowing about it. Surprise. Yeah, that Swords to Plowshares was a pretty good draw with the Uro around. Still got a 2-for-1 out of it. Stifle. Alright, Brainstorm, not bad. Probably getting rid of this Dreadnought for something else, like Uro. So I have blue, blue, and green, green. I think Underground Sea is the one I like the best. Alright, Uro time. What you got? Mist Hollow Griffin's coming in from exile. Oh, that's so cool. I haven't seen this in a while. So a food chain off the top from them is infinite mana for creatures. It's also infinite blockers. Right, so green, green. I don't, as long as I leave up blue, I don't think it matters which one I tap, because I'm not thought seizing them. Their hand's empty. Like, Ponder is the only card I would draw that I would cast here, or Stifle. Yeah, it doesn't. Just checking that it doesn't matter. Alright. Blue, blue. Okay. Considering my Tarmogoyf here, wasting this Tundra is going to be pretty nice. keep them guessing. So they're not going to be able to Swords to Plowshares here. Food Chain gives them a blocker forever. All right, well, there's Food Chain. At least I'm not dead. I can Abrupt Decay the Food Chain. Okay, so they get to attack for 3, exile it, then replay it. That's a cool ability. It basically has Vigilance. All right, so does it matter if I do this before or yes? So if I want to do this before they block, because then the Griffin has to be in the graveyard if it blocks. They don't even get 1 free exile out of it. Just get rid of that. Back in the day, you could have Mist Hollow Griffin with Deathrite Shaman, and you could exile it with your own Deathrite Shaman, gain 2 life, then replay it. That was a sweet ability, or sweet interaction. Yeah, I think keeping the velocity moving forward with Uro here is the play. Alright. Packed it up. Time to beat Food Chain. So Abrupt Decay is important. Surgical Extraction's kind of funny because you can't target Mist Hollow Griffin with it. But that's not going to be the plan anyway. So Sylvan Library, I think, is something I want. Food Chain is a control deck with a combo kill, so you have to kind of board against both. I think Force of Negation will probably be better than Daze. Especially on the draw. I don't think I want 2 Surgicals. Maybe I don't want any. So there's Force of Negation, 1 of them. The Dazes are out. Maximum Answers, 2 Food Chain. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Yep, just the 4th Decay is really the only card that's super important here, and then the rest is just a little bit of gravy. Nice. This is a respectable hand. Alright, so probably holding up Flusterstorm unless I draw a Ponder. Did they see a Stifle last game? I don't think they saw anything that would indicate that I'm a Stifle deck. I don't really remember. But I don't think so. Alright. I definitely didn't see anything that would make me think they're a Stifle deck. Alright, I think... No, I'll lead on Tarmogoyf. I'll keep the Lazav as a surprise. Alright, cool. That's fine. That's why I played the Goyf and not the Lazav. Like an Uro next turn. The trigger, I have the land lined up for the trigger. Uh-oh. Teferi. I can't let a combo deck have Teferi, so better counter it. Ancient Tomb is some nice technology. I love Ancient Tomb in a fair deck. Oh, we can do the Uro trick. So I guess is the Uro trick better than holding up Stifle for their turn? I never get to do this. I'm going to take it. Ooh, nope. Maybe Thoughtseize is better. Sorry, Uro. The Uro trick, by the way, is you play Uro on turn 3, it puts a land into play, then you use that land to fetch and stifle the Uro sacrifice trigger. I just think that Thoughtseize in this spot is more valuable than having a 6/6 in play. It would have been a blowout. Okay, that's fine. We're still lined up. I have Uro next turn, and they have nothing in their hand. Green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About a land? Nope. All right, just Lazav. Also broken. So if they had missed Hollow Griffin last turn, they would have played. So Food Chain is a 3-card combo. You need Missed Hollow Griffin, Food Chain, and a payoff, and they only have one unknown card over there. So they don't have that for sure. That's a good one. I'm just going to play Library. Let's quit farting around here. I can just pay 8 forever. I've gained so much life with Uro. I'm holding up these Stifles. Gonna beat up on there. They managed to trick me by fetching in their upkeep. I was like ready in the end step, then I rested my hand. Alright, GG's. Alright. We got the GG's in the chat. Uro is just too powerful. On to the final round, playing for 4-1. Let's do it. I'm on the play in the final round, and I am going to keep this hand. It's not sexy. It actually might be just horrendous based on the matchup, but if we're doing any sort of fared thing, like if they're Delver, this hand is going to be pretty good. Just like the double Wasteland plus removal spell. If they are this basic island, if they are a combo deck, this is really bad. If they are some sort of like miracle or mid-range sort of blue pile, this hand's fine because Uro is great in those matchups. Guess we'll see. They did not shuffle. Alright, I'm just gonna make another land drop. Like, I'm representing almost anything at this point. Like, I could be Ad Nauseam Tendrils, I could be Show and Tell, I could be Miracles. Alright, this looks like a combo deck to me, unless it's Grixis Control. I've been thrown off already once this week by Bloodstained Mire plus Island. That's normally combo stuff, but yeah, Grixis Control is also a deck that exists. Okay, so I will just Uro here. Oh, that might change things. I guess it doesn't really change anything. Cut to me getting excited, then realizing there's nothing to be excited about. Okay, Underground Sea, Tropical Island, and Bayou. Gang's all here. I think I should lead on Wasteland and then use Uro to put in the Bayou. Just in case they have... I guess I can't beat Blood Moon anyway, but if they have Back to Basics, this leads me closer to Abrupt Decay. This deck has Kolagon's Command in it, which is kind of a nightmare against my 12/12 artifact creature. That takes a bunch of work to get into play. Alright, so I can beat Narset. Not a huge deal. They also had to expose a non-basic land to my Wasteland here. Yeah, so I can Wasteland their land. Then I can play Scroll of Fate with Flusterstorm backup. Very nice. It's Dreadnought time. And Uro time. They're both here. Ready to party. We got a reader. And it's in. Okay. Dun it, dun it. So I think I'm going to put in Dreadnought in the end step, but not flip it. I want to keep leaving up Flusterstorm if I can. And I can just flip it in combat. Alright, nice Force of Will. Too late for that. I'm pretty much done casting spells this game. Yeah, the Abrupt Decay is uncounterable. So that can clear out the Strix. They take 12. Then I make another. I hide Uro under the other shell. Protecting all of it. Please attack, please attack. Oh my god. No respect at all. It's him to Turok. Or nothing. Okay. Nothing is a great answer. I will manifest this card from my hand. That's what Flusterstorm is for. Hope they don't have another Fatal Push, because I'm not ready. Right. Guess who's lurking? Oh. So I'm gonna attack their face. I don't care about Narset at this point. Just take 12. Bang. And I got another one coming. Yeah, bummer about the Narset, or I could at least like, throw the Uro into play here. So if they find a red source, they can Kolaghan's Command. But I think even that is too late. Especially with the backup. So there's a red source. They can K Command if they have it. Alright, so I'm gonna... Oh, do you have Stifle? What's going on here? Liliana's Triumph. Okay, each opponent sacrifices a creature. That would be that one. I'm gonna Abrupt Decay Narset. And then I'm gonna manifest Phyrexian Dreadnought. And then you're gonna make me discard my Uro. Deal. That was a pretty good turn they had. Too bad it doesn't matter. This is the turn they're gonna hold back their blocker. Reveal. Alright, so I actually only saw blue and black cards that whole game, but that doesn't mean they're not Grixis. I don't know what if like blue-black control is a thing in Legacy or what, but I've never heard of it. Sylvan Library's in, Veil of Summer's in. You show me Fatal Push, I show you Veil of Summer. Don't think I want Force of Negation. Daze is going to be medium on the draw against all these basic lands. They have enough basic lands to play through Wastelands, but the Wastelands are going to like keep them bottlenecked on their basic colors. So I actually don't hate Wasteland the way I would against like Blue-White Miracles. Do I want Divert? Do I want another Abrupt Decay? I have Stifle and Veil, plus the Forces. So I get one more card here. The lands don't really matter. Like, they're probably a Snapcaster deck, but I'm not going to bring in Bajugabog just for Snapcaster Mage. I could bring in Plague Engineer to name Bird and wipe out any Strixes that might get in my way, but I think I can overpower Strixes anyway. Abrupt Decay is good against Narset and Ashiok and things of that nature. Yeah, I think Abrupt Decay is the card that's left here that I want. They also could have Blood Moon or Back to Basics, which is also something that I want Abrupt Decay for. Yeah, that was a serious pounding. Easy keep. Cantrips, interaction, creature. Getting thought seized. Alright, so they'll probably take my Brainstorm. As that's the unique card in this hand, or the most powerful card in this hand by a lot. And if they want to take something else, that's great for me. Because I was kind of counting on Brainstorm to make this hand perfect. But now we have to play fair. Ooh. Would have preferred that to be on the top of my deck next turn when I play Lazav. But it's here now. They can just Fatal Push Lazav. I don't think I care about that. So interesting thing about Lazav, it keeps its name and stays legendary and keeps its ability, but its mana cost does change when it becomes a copy. So that could come up for Fatal Push. Probably not, but I mean, anything's possible. Okay, change of plans. It's Brainstorm time. I'm actually just going to do it now while they're tapped out of blue. I'm not going to get my hulls breached. Oh, I can actually set up the Dreadnought Mill. Scroll of Fate's excellent. Wastelands, whatever. So do I do an honest shuffle or do I try to set up the Dreadnought? Alright, I'll put Dreadnought and Wasteland back in that order. If I have to Flusterstorm something this turn, I'm able to, but if I don't, then I can just make my land drop, mill Dreadnought, and be threatening a 12/12 immediately. Snapcaster Mage, they're going to Thoughtseize. I actually just don't want to deal with this. Oh wait, I fucked all that up. I was like so smart I stacked all that up right, but now I have to shuffle the Dreadnought just to cast the Lazav. Alright, so do I cast Lazav or do I cast Scroll? I think I want to lead on Scroll. After last game, they're going to be scared shitless of this card. If they have a force, I'm going to get it, and if not, I can just start making 2/2s and attacking. Kolaghan's Command is going to be really good here if they have that. Desperately seeking something. So, do I manifest Lazav and lose out on Surveil? Or do I manifest Flusterstorm and lose out on Counterplay? I think I manifest Lazav. If they have K Command, then I get nothing. Ooh, this is actually nasty. Maybe I just play it slow, because if I manifest anything and they have Kolaghan's Command, they can deal 2 damage to my manifest and destroy Scroll of Fate for just a squeaky clean 2-for-1. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna not manifest anything, untap, and have up my Flusterstorm. Another Wasteland. Alright, I'll hold on to that to manifest. And just pass the turn here. I would, as much as I would love to put Lazav on the stack, they're not really giving me a good opportunity to do that. And by they, I mean these wastelands. My opponent has done nothing to interact with Lazav, but I really want to leave up Flusterstorm. Alright, they're thinking hard about this Golagon's command right now. They probably don't have a basic mountain, because you don't need a mountain to play around Blood Moon. So there's a big risk if they just go for Golagon's command here, because if they have to fetch a non-basic, I get to waste. Oh, they did have basic mountain. Fuck me then. So they're gonna destroy Scroll of Fate and get back Snapcaster Mage. Okay, so this deck definitely has back to basics or Blood Moon in it. If they have basic mountain, probably back to basics would be my guess. Okay, what is the plan? Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'll manifest Lazav. I lose my Abrupt Decay. But Lazav has a lot of upside. And they know what this is if they've been paying attention. They saw the Lazav. I haven't. I don't think. Maybe I brainstormed since they saw Lazav. Wow, they have a lot of basic lands. Strix, okay. Dreadnought. Dreadnought. Brainstorm's not a bad card. They could have Red Blast for this if they boarded those in. Alright, that's pretty exciting, honestly. Oh, but I tapped wrong. And I left up... I left up Veil of Summer and got punished with Thoughtseize. So I think what I actually want to do is put back Wasteland and Thoughtseize, play my land, and I can manifest Uro next turn. And then one way or the other, like, if they kill Uro, then I can copy it with Lazav. If they kill Lazav, I just have Uro. Snap K command here would be bad. Right, Jace is not ideal, but it mostly doesn't matter. Wish I could have Thoughtseized it though. So do they want to brainstorm? Yeah, that seems like it makes the most sense to me. I would love to. No, Thoughtseize doesn't make sense. They wouldn't even cast it if they had it. It's probably a removal spell of some kind. Target player sacrifices an artifact. Alright. That's not bad. This has done its job. Right, they targeted the right person. They didn't lose their own Strix, unfortunately. Alright, so forget about Thoughtseize. I want to flip this Uro in the end step. I think I want to get Bayou here to maximize my colors. Oh, you have to pay its actual mana cost, not its converted mana cost. Okay. Whoops. I've only turned up Phyrexian Dreadnought so far, for whom that doesn't matter. Removal spell. Stifle. You can't stifle Death Touch, unfortunately. Attack Jace, attack Jace. Alright, so that dies. There's no way to copy this. This doesn't have first strike or anything, so that also dies. Fuck. That's what I had in my hand. Oh, and I have to turn this face up and then copy? Ugh. That's a huge beating. One card left in hand. Fucking Surgical Extraction. Okay, that's fine. That has inspired me to Wasteland them. I can stifle the Jace activation, though that probably doesn't make any sense. They're probably going to plus Jace to stay out of combat range. Yeah. That Surgical was so good. It wouldn't have even mattered if I hadn't drawn a second Uro that turn. And they've seen the Stifle in my hand because of the Snapcaster, or the Surgical. Yeah, so they're playing with perfect information. We're just sort of treading water. Like, if they top deck a removal spell at any point, I'm in trouble. If I top deck a second threat at any point, they're in trouble. This Jace is sort of messing with my top deck while they get a fresh, unmolested top deck, so it's kind of close. Alright, Ponder is the sort of card that can bust open a stalemate like this. Jace plus targeting me. Put a card on top. I'm going to draw this card. I could shuffle it, but I always put my opponents to the test. See what level they're on. That was weird. They floated black and then didn't cast a spell. They didn't need to. Alright, so does this do anything? I don't have any cards that cost anything. So I basically have to win the game with Tarmogoyf at this point. Alright, so they weren't bluffing when they left me that card. Generally, I like to see if they leave a good card, because I tend to leave the top card of their deck where it is. I probably should have stifled that. I tend to leave the top card of their deck there with Jace if they have a fetch land, basically all the time. Because if I'm honest about bottoming things I'm scared of, then they know that they need to shuffle when they leave things on top. But if there's time to play a longer game, I'll generally mess around with what is important and what isn't. Their red blasts are kicking in. Alright. I don't think I can win this game anymore, but I am going to make them figure out how to win it. Though Jace is a good answer to that question. This is the Devil land from Jumpstart. That's a pretty sweet looking mountain. That's the Spirit. That's, I don't know exactly what, but that's the Spirit Island. Alright, do we have another Red Blast? Or a Snapcaster for a Red Blast? I can stifle a Snapcaster. I don't know that I can beat Jace, like, regardless. I don't think it even matters. Now they've seen my whole deck, so they know exactly what matters and what doesn't. Ooh, they just misclicked through their turn. Awkward. But it seems they're going to go unpunished for it. Yeah, they're playing careful now. It's Kolaghan's command. Getting back Snapcaster. And making me discard. I'll discard this Underground Sea I've been sitting on. I can stifle the Snapcaster or trigger. But I'm just treading water at this point. Not gonna beat a Jace. And my Uros are gone. I have Tarmogoyf left in the deck to win with, and Dreadnought, but Dreadnought versus Jace is not a battle I'm gonna win. And my Scroll of Fate's already gone. More lands. I'll concede after my next draw step. Ooh. Oh, they have Tybalt. That's good to know. As Tybalt enters the battle, you get an emblem. Okay, so that's not a trigger. That's interesting. I didn't know that. You can't stifle them getting an emblem when Tybalt arrives. Okay, so they are a Valky Tybalt deck on top of all this other shit. So we've seen Thoughtseize out of them. Divert is pretty insane against that. Kolaghan's command. Alright, I can't redirect Kolaghan's command because this is change the target of a spell with a single target, and a command has 2 targets. No matter what mode you pick, it has 2 targets. I think I might need to... What do I need to do? Alright, Divert's not coming in. I take it all back. And they're not going to have any creatures to target with their own Fatal Push, so that's not a thing either. I think this is still the best deck I can present. It's just, if I get Surgicaled, it hurts. So I'll try to play around that as much as I can. Yeah, I don't want Force of Negation. That's not what this game is about. Oh, Thoughtseize. You poor devil. I'll keep this hand, though. This Tarmogoyf has text. I can hold up Flusterstorm for turn 1 Thoughtseize out of them if they have that. I can Brainstorm looking for my Thoughtseize if they don't. Do I want to Brainstorm or Ponder here? The Wasteland is medium. Yeah, I'm actually going to Brainstorm here. And if they want to aggro Red Blast, they can. And I'll just make my land drop and pass the turn. Because Basic Mountain does very little in their deck other than cast Red Blast, and if they fetch a non-basic, they get wasted. They could just be playing around Stifle here too. Okay, shit. So I did not come up with the black source. So I'm going to put back Wasteland and... Is it Lazav or Flusterstorm? Maybe I put back the Thoughtseize. Oh, Thoughtseize and Flusterstorm are very similar things. Maybe I'll put back Lazav and Wasteland and Ponder, looking for Black Source here. If they Red Blast this, I'm in trouble. Okay, they didn't. So tuck Lazav down there a little bit. Okay, so now I can Thoughtseize Tarmogoyf and then Tarmogoyf Flusterstorm. As long as I don't get, like, Blood Mooned before that happens. Kroxa. I see you have a Titan of your own. I'll discard Abrupt Decay. I think just my plan of cheesing them out here, that one is not involved in it. It's a lot of Red Blasts and Kroxas. Liliana's Triumph, Abrade. Abrade's too small, way too small. Don't care about Ponder, don't care about K-Command. So Kroxa can eat my Wasteland, and then I can Tarmogoyf plus Flusterstorm. Don't even have blue mana. This is going to be a good opportunity to cheese over this finish line. Wow, they missed their land drop. Time to pound. More Goyf. Alright, the race is on. They're 2 lands and 2 cards in their graveyard away from escaping a Kroxa. They can't cast the Ponder. Because they fetch this basic mountain, they're finally getting punished by the basic lands in their deck. I think I want to... Do I want a Lazav straight into Pyroblast? No. I'll just attack. There's already creatures and instants in the graveyard, so that doesn't do anything. It just lets them use their mana in a time where they otherwise can't. And they're just dead on board with my Flusterstorm, so... Bang! Punished by fetching the basic mountain that doesn't cast any spells. Okay, so we went 4-1, only losing to a Oops All Spells player who was graced by the hand of God himself with their top decks. So this felt actually really good, like a genuinely good Legacy deck. Lazav was awesome. Like, I guess there was like one game, like that last game after my Uros got extracted, where Lazav was just like somehow better as a face down 2/2 than a face up card with all its text. But we had that game where I turned into Uro, attacked, triggered, then turned into Dreadnought after blocks was bonkers. So I'm into that. And this felt good overall. Though Wastelands, we didn't play a lot of matchups where Wasteland was super relevant, but I guess I did hit a lot of cards with Wasteland. I'm not sold on Divert, though we didn't really play against Abrupt Decay matchups either, so I'll reserve judgment on that. The crop rotation package in the board was great. Veil Summer was theoretically great, never came up though, but against Grixis control, and when Abrupt Decay is the scariest card against your archetype, then yeah, definitely Veil of Summer is the kind of thing you want. Tarmogoyf delivered, large and in charge, definitely better than Dark Confidant, I would say. And this just seems like a super tune list. Joel, I wish I had more to say to you. Like, normally I tune lists and like make them better based on my experience, but I don't know if there is more to say. I guess the one thing I could say is that Scroll of Fate was really, really good every time I drew it. So maybe having a second one in the sideboard for matchups where stifling in your Dreadnought isn't that great. Like matchups that can counter your Stifle and 2-for-1 you. Having a 1-for-1 way to get Dreadnought into play, be it Lazav or Scroll, is really nice. So maybe another Scroll of Fate over the Divert in the sideboard. But in general, this has been a really tuned, well-built list. So, Joel, thanks for the submission. Got the 4-1, almost got the 5-0, but I can definitely see how you would have put up your 5-0 with it. And looking forward to seeing this deck published with here on the trophy board. So thanks for the submission. Everyone, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.